It's on record. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, we can start from your name.
Introduction. Well, I am Dr. Daniel Ekongwe.
Okay.
I am a Cameroonian, and I work with the Pan-African Institute of Development, West Africa, PEDWA.
Okay.
I am head of government relations, and I was invited to the African Dignity Forum by the United Nations Peace University, so that we can discuss in line with the AU Agenda 260 and see how we can regain African dignity through Pan-Africanism. Thank you.
Could you tell us the short briefing of your
Presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. My paper is titled, or was titled, I've presented already. My paper was titled Ivory Project, Pan-Africanism and the Challenges of the New World Order. And the basic theme or idea is that from the idea of Pan-Africanism, Africa has achieved so much. I think that with the challenges in the present global or world order, contemporary international challenges, Africa can still achieve success on the platform of Pan-Africanism. How can that be done? Only through understanding the rules of the game that regulate world order. Economic organization, institutional arrangements, political agendas, causes of wars, changing patterns of wars, changing patterns of land grabbing, changing patterns of economic life, the need for inter-African trade, the need to tap from African civilization. That is my argument. Our African leaders, intellectuals, youth leaders, community leaders, chiefs, students, we must understand that as Africans, we have a chance to succeed. Because Pan-Africanism is a legitimate call for an African order. That is an African way of doing things that we can export to the rest of the world. We have seen it succeeded. In sports, Ethiopia and Kenya dominates, Tanzania dominates. We have seen it in music. We no longer play individual music. There's only one music all over Africa now. We've seen it in the film industry. The Nigerian film industry, Zimbabwean, South African film industry is now second in the world. It means that we have something to offer. That is my message. Most important, we as Africans must know that these things is called a game. We are actually at war. The other civilizations, the other powers, whether European, whether Chinese, whether American, they are not coming for friendly trips. It is a war to take what you have and use for themselves or against you. We have to get this in our minds as Africans. That's my argument.
Okay, Doctor. How could you relate this with the current topic?
Sorry?
That's with dignity.
Yes. Okay. Now, with dignity is that the relationship between Africans and particularly Europeans was one of domination. And when our way of life, land grabbing, and mothers they go out to protest, they don't have land to work farm again, you've lost your dignity as a human being. And when we have a state, after independence, African leadership struggled to hold this continent together. And now we are beginning to fight one against the other and discrediting that other person's attitude, way of dress, food, way of talking, and say that, oh, I am Muslim, he is Christian, he is Cameroon, you are Ethiopian. It was not like that. They have taken away our identity. Who? Those with whom we trade, those with whom we have relationships. When we go to the United Nations, we have 54 independent African states in the United Nations. That is, the membership is 193. And 5 people decide for the rest of the world. America, China, France, Britain, Russia, and we have 54 states. And they are presidents. Those people too are presidents. Taking away our dignity. We can't even decide the future of our own country, of our own children. Even our economic model, 15 economic models have been brought to Africa since 1960. We know the sort of structural adjustment program. None has worked. Why must they give? Why do we take these models when we have our own model of economic trade? Why? We have a way of financial institutions. In Cameroon, we called it Njangi. In Arabic, you know, this transmission of money and so forth. That is our culture. Why do we go borrow another person's culture to do things the way they do? We have our own way of life as Africans. We are Africans. And African does not mean skin color. African means the way our spirit is, the way we think, the way we live. We have a sense of community. In Cameroon and in other parts of Africa, when you are in your house and somebody comes to attack you, enemies come, what do you say? Oh, in Cameroon we call it in Pidgin, Hunakamo. You are not calling an individual, you are calling the community. But in the other part of the world, it's individualism, individual rights. These are the things we are saying, that we have a chance as Africans now where the rest of the world are in problem. Europe is facing security challenges, financial challenges. The basis of European Union is crumbling. And they are facing immigration and so forth. We are having double-digit economic growth. We have a chance as Africans to negotiate. We have a chance to go back and tap from our own culture and move forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, my final question.
Yes.
How scholars contribute to scholars?
Yes.
Scholars' contribution and with relative to the government.
Yes,
relation.
that is a contribution of intellectualism. It is part of my paper. Pan-Africanism came as a result of the intellectual stimulations of Africans. Webb Du Bois and Mosea Jr., Sylvester, Kwame Nkrumah, they were intellectuals. They think. From the moment the intellectual of a country realizes that there is something wrong, that country gains momentum. Because the intellectuals research, identify a problem, and propose a solution. That is where we think that the contribution comes. It worked in the first, from Manchester 1945 Pan-African conference. It moved to Africa, intellectuals came together, we gained independence. At this point in time, intellectualism is even more important because the world has become more complex. The world has become more challenging with wars and insecurity and so forth. That is the place of the intellectual. That is what we are doing here.
Finally,
Yes.
your message for governments.
Yes. My message to the governments, I will repeat what I wrote to President Robert Mugabe. We have to understand the rules of the game. We have to understand the modus operandi of the international system. Else, whether we go with economic model, political policy, and so forth, we will be doing circles until we understand how the world operates. We will be doing circles. We must understand it is not a friendly game. We are at war. So we must take it as such. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.